Hello and thanks for joining us for a new edition of Reporters. Every year, an estimated 3 million young girls across the world undergo the traumatic experience of genital mutilation. Most of the cases are in Africa and the Middle East, but not only. What few people know is that some Europeans are also subjected to the same ordeal, the scars of which can last a lifetime. Tens of thousands each year are at danger of being mutilated when they return to their native countries for holidays. Female genital mutilation is a crime severely punished by courts in the West. The sentence can range from child removal to heavy prison sentences. Now in Europe, a growing number of surgeons and organizations are offering psychological help and genital reconstruction to these traumatized girls. Here's the report by Sophie Guignon and Miyaki Dros Aramaki, filmed in Somaliland, Ireland and France.
A crime committed against young girls by their own families. Female genital mutilation sends parents to prison and condemns survivors to a lifetime of taboo. 2 young Europeans have agreed to tell us anonymously the circumstances in which they were cut during family holidays in their parents' countries. A 25-year-old British woman of Somali origin and a 21-year-old French woman of Guinean origin.
Quand j'avais 7 ans, on est parti pour les vacances en famille. Le lendemain de notre arrivée, on s'est retrouvés avec ma mère, ma grand-mère et mes sœurs dans une espèce de petit cabinet médical.
My mother and grandmother were always having heated arguments, but I had no idea what it was about. One day, my mother went to the market, but I didn't want to go along. As soon as she left, my grandmother was being even more extra nice to me. She gave me sweets.
J'étais dans la salle d'attente. Ma grande sœur entre dans une pièce et on entend des cris. Ça m'inquiète. Je me demande ce qui se passe.
I saw a few women sitting inside. One grabbed me, started pulling on my clothes. There was a moment of complete helplessness when I felt a quick but sharp pain.
Je me souviens d'être sortie de ce cabinet. Je n'arrivais plus à marcher, ça me faisait mal. En arrivant à la maison, il y a eu une fête en notre honneur.
For this crime, the 2 women could take their parents to court. But, like most victims, they don't want to upset or divide their families. Every year, the World Health Organization says around 180,000 Europeans are at risk of female genital mutilation, or FGM. It's a traditional rite of passage dating back to the time of the pharaohs, occurring across West Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Increased global migration has brought this harmful practice to the West. FGM lessens women's sexual pleasure and has lifelong health consequences. It can take many forms, from removing the clitoris to sewing up the vagina, a process called infibulation.
Donc là, ils ont à la fois excisé et à la fois coupé les petites lèvres. Là, on voit des grandes cicatrices en fait, et les règles et les urines, elles passent par ce petit orifice là. Évidemment, là, les rapports sexuels, ils sont totalement impossibles.
To avoid European girls experiencing this fate, NGOs are fighting on 2 fronts, among diaspora communities in the West, but also in countries of origin.
I was young, only 10. I was excited about going on a plane for the first time. When we arrived, I remember everything being busy and loud. The people, animals, cars, streets. There were a lot of people to meet. Grandmother, uncles, aunties.
The family of this young woman comes from Somaliland, a semi-autonomous region west of Somalia. Here, 97% of the girls are circumcised, generally at the age of 7 or 8. This region is one of the last on the planet where there are no laws forbidding genital mutilation. In a poor area of the capital Hargeisa, we are meeting with a circumciser. It's a common job in this neighborhood. She asked to remain anonymous. This woman knows that the practice is forbidden in the Western world. She has no formal medical training, but it doesn't stop her from cutting the genitalia of young European women.
halka u horeysa saasaan gooyaa darraq sanka sidaasaan soo gooyaa in yaro hilbo dheer bay soo raacda in aadan hareer yar hadan hareer bis qodobka labada iyo waxyaalaha si roorka mooyaane aas isticmaalana taasaan ku xuluulina sida waa lagu tolaa sidii dharka loo tolayay adarka waxaan ku dhiig joojinta inta lagu bilaabo yaadu ilaa saacad barkeed baan haystaa hadday doonto saacad bay ku qaadataa naagta ororada oo dhan waxa weeyaan xilliga ciyaalka la fasaxo fasaxaada ama iskuulka laga fasaxo ama madrasadii markay fasaxa tahay bay noogu badan tahay maalintii 4 5 6 7 intii aan kalba helno يعني مرات قرن بدا qoysaska qorba ka soo noqda qaar baa ku sameeyay hablahooda way jirtaa wax yiraahdaan anagu dhaqankeegii horaan doonaynaa inoo waxee waanu sameeyay lacag fiican bay nasiiyaa $20 iyo $15 waanu hablaha kale faqiirinta dadka yarada qad
It's just how this mother feeds her family. And in this neighborhood, nobody minds. It's simply seen as a traditional way of upholding the honor of girls and their families. This link between religion and FGM is the most widely spread misunderstanding in the countries that practice it. Nothing in the Bible nor the Quran mentions genital mutilation as a requirement. In Somaliland, one doctor has taken the fight to these false beliefs. The leading hospital in the country is named after 82-year-old Edna Adan, who is still in charge.
You can do lectures there. You can do lectures upstairs. It's a big place.
Edna is the country's most renowned midwife, and she is a survivor of FGM as it was practiced on her when she was a child. She has fought against this custom all her life. She says Somalilanders overseas practice FGM to retain a link with their cultural heritage.
They may have lost everything else, but this they can keep on. They want to keep their identity, they want to keep their good name, they want to conform. And then some of them think they need to do it because of the religion. And what they don't know is that the religion, Islam, forbids the mutilation of girls. And other Muslim countries don't mutilate their daughters. So this is the information that we pass and we spread and we teach.
This former WHO official says the fight against FGM starts with changing people's minds. Her message is spread in clinic waiting rooms through religious speeches continuously broadcast on television. These sermons have been handpicked for their anti-FGM content. The Ministry of Religion has written a special fatwa condemning infibulation, the most dangerous form of FGM, but not all types of it. Awareness is also raised through consultations.
السنة هاد بس قضب مركي برجع يرى السنة لغادي قضب مضهين إلى هادو ينيركسي ولا الله باقي تو إلى هاي نكسي السنة صلاة كذا كسي قضب
السنة
السنة محن ركا كامل سنتين
يا
حد سنة كامل سنتين
دينا واحد بيا لحين
qodobka diinta islaamka ma ogola haddaad iska wadaysana diinta islaamka way ogashahay haddaad sunno ka dhigaysana diinta way ogashahay haddaan sunno laga dhiganaha diinta way ogashahay inanta wax xaaraan kuma yaalaan marka dhibaatadu waa mid haysanaysa inanta yar ilaa markay dhalato marka loo sameeyo ujeeda ilaa intay muxuu ahaa hooyo ka noqonayso waa dhibaatadii gudniinka fircoonigu waa mid ay sii jirayso oo mar kaliya aanay dhibaatadii ka gudbeen markan ay ku jirto xiliga iskuulka la dhigto waxa laga yaabaa inantii FGM kii dhibaatada ay ku reebtay inay infection oo kale ka qaado inay xanuun pain aad u far badan ka qaado inay mararka qaar iskuulkii ay jarto kale oo xaqa waxbarashadeedii caqabad kaga noqdo markay inantii la aqalqalo dib waata loo soo furo xaqa inay dhibaato muxuu ka soo gaadhay inantii laga yaabaa oo argagax dambe iyo dhiigbax dambe iyo infection dambe iyo wax kale ku dhaco.
FGM prevalence rates in Somaliland remain among the highest in the world. But the number of infibulations has dropped by 20% in the past 10 years. Edna Adan sees this as an encouraging development.
It's not where I want it to be after 43 years of a battle, but at least I see the progress. If we work together with the legislators in Europe and Americas and the world, in the country, we will be able to prevent little girls from being taken out on a holiday only to be cut up.
Edna hopes that she will live to see all forms of FGM outlawed in Somaliland.
When my mother came back from the market, she soon realized something was wrong. She didn't ask me. She just went to my grandmother to confront her. "What did you do to her?" she asked. My grandmother replied, "Something you should have done a long time ago." I remember a big fight starting. Our mom changed our tickets back, and a few days later we were packing. I have not been back since.
J'allais faire ma rentrée en CE1. Ma mère m'avait dit de ne parler à personne de ce qui s'était passé. Je n'étais plus la même. Je suis devenue très angoissée. C'est comme si l'endroit où j'ai été mutilée n'existait plus sur mon corps.
Ireland was one of the last countries in Europe to criminalise FGM. The first prosecution took place in Dublin at the start of 2020.
Parents have gone on trial accused of female genital mutilation of their 21-month-old daughter. The couple have both pleaded not guilty to a charge of child cruelty.
A trial made possible thanks to the lobbying work done by this refugee, Ifra Ahmed. With the support of Irish activists, this Somalian, infibulated aged 8, has become the voice of FGM victims in the country. Ifra often gets together with elders from various communities to ensure the message gets out that Irish law has classified FGM as a crime, whether it's performed in Ireland or in another country.
In 2006, there was already a legislation draft bill in the parliament, but it was under the table. So we did advocate the bill, and in 2012, Ireland was actually act on the bill. For me, it's very important those young girls who have been raised in Ireland, who've been taken back to Africa, should know that they have right to be who they want to be, and they have right to be protected by the Irish law.
The Irish Penal Code is based on European standards. Punishments for FGM include taking children into care and heavy prison sentences. In front of the criminal courts, journalists are waiting for the verdict. In the press room, Sharon Gaffney is preparing a report for broadcast on national television and radio.
Hello, can you hear me? It's Sharon here down in the courts. Hang on a sec, just have to print something off. It wasn't a crime in Ireland, and I suppose it wasn't really much of an issue back in the 1970s, 1980s. In Ireland, we don't have a long history of immigration into the country.
To protect the identity of the minors involved, cameras were forbidden during the trial, but we were able to attend. The parents claimed their daughter was injured while playing with a toy, an account deemed improbable by medical experts. Premeditation was considered as an aggravating circumstance by the judge. The couple collapsed when the sentence was read out. 5 years in prison. A case that has now set a precedent in Ireland.
Good afternoon, everyone. Detective Chief Superintendent Declan Daly, Garda National Protective Service Bureau. I would like to ask our communities, our social workers, our medical personnel, and our parents to be vigilant for this type of heinous crime. And we need to protect our children. So any person who has any information in relation to female genital mutilation, whether that means that it's happening in this jurisdiction or whether people are bringing children outside this jurisdiction for this practice, if they contact the local Garda station.
We meet with Ifra Ahmed, the activist who campaigned for an anti-FGM law. The young woman welcomes the sentence, even if she says the focus should be on prevention.
For me, it's not important that family to put in prison, but what important is that young girls to be protected before even young girls are cut. Because, for example, the young girls will actually face traumatized twice. One, because she was cut. Second, she been taken away from her families.
After leaving Somalia, Ifra underwent an operation to open the stitches that she still carried from the original cutting.
The gynecologist, she said, "Oh, you're going to be fine."
Now, at 31, she's at the right age to start a family, but also afraid of potential difficulties during childbirth.
When I came to Ireland, I went to hospital and they asked to recut it again, so I can at least have my period normal. I was cut twice and I was removed everything, and I am scared.
To discuss her chances, Ifra Ahmed is meeting with gynecologist Dr. Maeve Ogan, one of the few FGM specialists in Ireland.
Why my legs are so swollen?
Yeah, your legs are a bit swollen because blood pressure can make them be a bit swollen. You know, the
FGM increases the risk of stillbirth.
Yeah.
It narrows the uterus and could cause the baby respiratory distress. Caesarean sections and episiotomies are more frequent.
And then also, because you see, if I have no problem.
If you really don't want any stitches, down below. The only way we can guarantee is to do a cesarean section.
It's hard.
I know, it is hard.
It's something that I feel still the pain.
Yeah.
And going Caesar again is just hard.
I know.
You know, I don't want it to face again another trauma.
Yeah. The problem is if the area remains very closed at the time of delivery and it tears during delivery, there may be some extra bleeding. And therefore there can be scarring and extra pain afterwards.
If Ifra Ahmed one day gives birth to a daughter, she will be the first in her family not to be cut.
Till this day, to be honest, I don't know what is missing in me. I don't know how things should be, but all I think is that this ordeal was so unnecessary. I don't see the point or understand what was achieved.
Il y a une chose qui m'a poussée à comprendre l'excision, c'est que je ne voulais pas continuer à vivre en détestant mes parents. Il fallait que je sache pourquoi ils avaient fait ça. J'ai compris que c'était une tradition qu'il y avait dans notre culture, qui faisait croire aux femmes que c'était en étant excisées qu'on était honorable et respectable. Que mes parents, en m'aimant, voulaient que je sois honorable et respectable. Quand j'ai compris ça, je l'ai mieux vécu. Mon seul but est devenu de me réparer et plus de blâmer qui que ce soit.
France was one of the first European countries to confront the issue of FGM. Prosecutions have existed since the 1970s under legislation on child abuse and bodily harm. 60,000 circumcised women now live in the country. At a Parisian theatre, Sylvie Togba is in rehearsals. This Ivorian has long felt walled in by shame after she suffered FGM at the age of 8. After becoming a mother, she decided to face her trauma on stage.
J'ai ça, j'ai mes fleurs, ensuite mon ciseau.
Les artistes au plateau, est-ce que tout le monde a au clair ses accessoires, ses costumes, ciseaux?
Ils sont sur la table là-bas. Ciseaux, je vais les prendre pour moi.
The scissors belong to Sylvie, who is playing the role of a circumciser as a form of catharsis.
Le tabou de l'excision, il est tombé là. Je n'en parlais jamais, que ce soit au niveau de mes amis, de ma famille, de ma communauté. Mais avec le théâtre, déjà j'ai pris le dessus sur les pensées négatives qui me disaient oui, faut pas oser faire ça, c'est la honte. Oui, t'as un petit truc là qui n'est pas à sa place, faut pas trop te montrer. Le théâtre réconcilié avec mon corps, ça, oui.
Ce qu'on vient de faire, c'est la base. Maintenant,
Among this company of professional and amateur actors, Sylvie is due to perform in 2 days. Her first time in front of an audience. For others, reconciliation involves repairing their mutilated body. At this Parisian surgery, Dr. Foldes was the first surgeon to come up with a reconstruction procedure for female genitalia. The doctor has a set ritual before each operation under general anesthetic.
C'est très important d'aller mettre de la musique. Depuis qu'on a expérimenté ça, la dose d'anesthésique nécessaire a diminué d'un tiers. Ça les désangoisse énormément et c'est vraiment super. Voilà.
The surgeon has already operated on more than 6,000 women. Each procedure lasts around 45 minutes.
Allez-y. Stop, merci.
His next patient had her outer labia and clitoris removed.
Voilà.
But the doctor plans to reconstruct the clitoris using the remaining tissue of this essential organ for female pleasure.
Alors là, on a une bonne surprise parce que il y a vraiment du tissu extrêmement beau qui se présente et on va pouvoir récupérer un clitoris normal. Donc là, je reconstitue la petite lèvre droite et ça se présente vraiment très très bien. On ne lutte pas contre des maladies mais des pratiques criminelles d'origine humaine. Donc ça a beaucoup de sens. C'est une opération de reconstruction de leur personnalité féminine, de leur sexualité, de l'image qu'elles ont d'elles-mêmes. Et ça ne se résume pas à un organe. Voilà, l'opération est terminée.
Dr. Foldes' patient is due to leave the hospital the same evening, the start of a long journey towards discovering pleasure. The surgery's success ultimately depends on the results of the psychological treatment that accompanies it. Almost half of the patients here were born in France and were circumcised while away on holiday.
Vous allez chacune prendre la parole, vous présenter avec le prénom, le pays d'origine, le pays dans lequel vous avez été excisé. Est-ce que c'est en France ou c'est dans le pays d'origine?
J'ai été excisée quand j'étais bébé au Sénégal.
Ma grande sœur était déjà passée par là et du coup je savais que c'était une étape obligatoire entre guillemets et effectivement moi j'ai des souvenirs. C'est pour ça que c'est encore un peu difficile. Ouais.
Ça a été très dur parce que je pense devant des personnes ou devant des copines à l'époque, on fait comme si de rien n'était. À la maison, on n'en parlait pas, c'était assez tabou. En sachant que des fois, quand ça arrive, il y en a qui dénoncent pas, quoi.
Ils ont fait
Qui, dans ses rapports sexuels, n'a pas de problème? D'accord? Donc, toutes, vous avez des problèmes, des rapports douloureux, etc.
Je sais que quand j'ai des rapports sexuels, j'ai mal, en tout cas. Ça, j'ai jamais envie. Et ça me fatigue beaucoup avec mon homme. Parce qu'il me dit toujours, que peut-être que moi, je l'aime pas. Parce que je vais jamais vers lui pour lui dire « Ah, bébé, j'ai envie de toi, tout ça. »
Oui, mais pourquoi tu veux lui faire plaisir? Bah non, en fait, si toi tu sais que tu vas rien ressentir, tu n'auras pas de plaisir, moi je vois pas l'intérêt.
Mon objectif est que chaque femme reprenne un peu la main sur leur vie. Elle doit absolument être maître ou maîtresse, on va dire, de chaque acte qu'on va poser sur leur corps et aussi de revendiquer le plaisir, parce que le plaisir, c'est aussi une de leurs revendications.
This institute's method is now being used across Europe. Meanwhile, Sylvie is preparing for the premiere of her show. It's already sold out.
Oui. Petit cadeau pour la première.
Waouh.
Pour les comédiennes.
Merci.
Je vais encourager tout le monde.
J'ai le stress. J'ai le stress énorme. C'est un combat. Je vis pas ce moment que pour moi seul maintenant. Je le vis pour toutes celles qui pourront se dire à travers moi qu'il y a de l'espoir.
The play confronts incest and rape, as well as FGM.
Je te demande deux choses seulement. D'en prendre soin comme si elle était ta propre fille et de la ramener aussi tôt que possible. Les applaudissements à la fin, ça finissait pas. Magnifique. Ça encourage et ça nous dit aussi qu'on peut aller encore plus loin.
Whether through theatre, psychological support or repair surgery, these women have made it back. hundreds of thousands of mutilated women have managed to bring pleasure back into their lives. Some are now dedicated to stamping this harmful practice out across the world.
Thank you all for watching. Remember, you can find all of our reports on France24.com and on our social networks. See you soon.